Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm playing on my tier 4 right now, and I'm just gonna do a tour on what familiars that I currently have and what familiars I'll get in the future. So, to start from the very beginning, I immediately went for Borland, the rare support slash DPS familiar that everyone has access to. Um, I did use him for a brief moment until I get the epic variant, which is Squibbo. The reason that I made him is because I just wanted to step up my team composition. Like I want to deal more damage, get some more heals. Uh, Eventually, I would set him aside though because I was still trying to get a legendary accessory and pet. But eventually, he will get replaced by Trixie. He's also an epic damage slash support familiar. His kit is relatively similar to Remy. Um, the main difference is that his bonus is crit chance, while Remy is like damage bonus. And Remy is locked behind tier 6 content because the one of his familiars is locked in zone 6. But I was happy that I got Trixie because I get to use him longer than I expected. And essentially, he would be my main healer up until I got this guy, which is Chris Jamort. I did get this guy from last month's Sardinix event, but um, back then, Trixie was still my main DPS or slash support familiar. I did get Sir Tivid, but I don't see a point in using him. And even if I get to tier 7, I'm still not going to use it because I did not like his skills. I did not like his bonuses. Although I did like his speed bonus, but the bonus at the text description, I do not like it. But speaking of Chris Gemort, of course, he's my main DPS right now. He is rocking a mythic brain that I crafted a while ago. Though personally, I would prefer the attack enemy team instead of attack closest. As for the other augments, I've been juggling around on what bonuses I could make this guy to work. Starting with the bone augment, I'm currently wearing the this bonus where it doesn't spend SP whenever I use skills. But there are some other options that I could pick. There's the let's see, the drain SP from the opponent after defeating them. There's the while above 75% health, gain damage increase. And lastly is the overkill damage ricochets. But right now I'm just wearing this, and eventually I'll just try to get the mythic bone and hopefully getting 3 of those bonuses that I want. Now, for the chip, I can try to get both the revitalize and bolster chips for a tiny bit of healing or sustain. So Gemort doesn't die that easily, especially in PvP. The chip that I'm wearing right now is the gain damage bonus but reduce shields. Now this bonus doesn't, it's not bad exactly because Gemort doesn't have really any shielding as far as I know. Yep, it's just healing. So it's just basically free increased damage bonus for me. Now, for the pump augments, I'm either gonna do 3 empowers. Right now, I have 2 speeds and 1 empower, but I prefer all 3 empowers so I can maximize his damage bonus, or rather damage output. I mean, if not, I can put 1 speed pump so he gets more turns. If not speed, I can do accuracy because in Trials and Gauntlets, some enemies have a deflect, so there's a chance that one of my teammates dies from the deflected attack. So I'm either gonna put speed or accuracy, but I think I'm gonna go with accuracy. And that's pretty much it for my DPS familiars. Unfortunately, I did not fuse many DPS familiars. I was carefully planning on which DPS familiar I'm crafting in the future, and if there's ever a chance that Chris Gemort gets replaced for something better, then I wouldn't hesitate to replace Chris Gemort. But besides that, I guess I can start with my tank familiars. I'll start from the very beginning. Now, because I went for tank stats so early in the game, I managed to only craft two tank familiars, and that is Shramps at first. I briefly used him for a tiny bit. He specializes in block chants. The other tank familiar that I made just for the funsies, and that is this guy, Bobodom. He is a legendary evade tank that I would happily use if his augment isn't exactly the best. Like for the bone, I would replace it with something else. Same goes for the chipped. Actually, I might keep this chip because with three mythic evade pumps, I could easily get him to 75% evade chance, which is the max cap, and I can put a damage reduction chip and possibly a damage reduction bone. While for the brain, I actually want a mythic brain augment that attacks an enemy team when you get hit, like this one that I'm wearing or that he's currently wearing. So I plan on saving a lot of brain stems so I could either random craft or direct craft a mythic brain augment with the same bonus as this one. Um, Additionally, Bobodom can get or can be fused into the mythic version, which is Rumbolio. He's also evade, specializing in evade, but he has another bonus, and that is redirect. I like the redirect chance, so my character doesn't get hit a lot because he is at the front in all of content like PvP and PvE. And much like Bobodom, he's gonna wear three evade pumps, uh, damage reduction chips and bone, and attack enemy team brain whenever he gets hit because he has massive HP pool and his brain. The scaling of his brain is dependent on how much attack power that Rumbolio has. But eventually I'll make him. But for right now, I'm still in tier 4. Once I reach tier 7, I can actually start to go for the familiars that are locked in tier 6. I believe they're all in tier 6, but yeah, I'm super excited to farm him eventually. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my tank familiars. I only made two, as I mentioned earlier. After 5 months or 4 to 5 months of camping, I did get all of these other legendary familiars like Gabi, Alxa, and Astaroth. On well, not this guy. He's definitely not a tank, but yeah. Uh, I did make this Hoplag. Why did I say two? I made three. But I did make Hoplag because he is my first um, legendary tank familiar. He's also evade, but it's pretty low. But you can compensate with the absorb chance and the increased max shields. The skills are, I'd just say mid or meh because it's not exactly the tank skills that I'm looking for, which is why I prefer Bulbadom over Hoplag. Ever since I'm starting to regret getting Hoplag, but that's a different kind of problem. But anyway, I prefer Bulbadum over Hoplag, not because Bulbadum is better or anything. I like his evade chance being 30% because again I can make it to 75% with 3 evade pumps. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my tank familiars. I made 3, sorry, not 2, and yeah, not much to show here. Okay, so the day when I reach tier 7, I will be able to get more familiars. There's several here that I'll mention, starting with my DPS familiars. For the legendaries, there's Drazig from Netherworld, Walcom and Torlag, both from Orlag clan. Flamingo for the, I believe it's Rumble Invasion. I have to double check. And Korgs, because I needed to be tier 5 to make Korgs. These familiars at some point will have a use either for PvE or PvP. Like Korgs for PvP, I have an idea on a build for him in the future that would shred the enemy team. Uh, Also Flamingo, he also has a use for PvP because his bonuses is catered towards Empower and critical damage. His 0 SP is a random enemy that hits a few times, I believe 6 times. So I can pair him with a attack enemy team brain while also building him full Empower so he can get to like 60% Empower. So he will get empowered more often while also having a brain augment that attacks enemy team because the brain augments can get empowered too. Now, as for the mythic DPS, yes, mythic DPS, there's only one, and that is Dranath. Although I mentioned that I'll get Drazig eventually, he will be fused into Dranath, making Walcom or Torlag gonna be my main healing familiars. If I'm counting tier 8 instead of tier 7, both Walcom and Torlag are going to be fused into Wallogder, um, but although he's very expensive, so I'm planning to stay in tier 7 for also a long time, maybe even longer than my tier 4 camping days. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my DPS familiars that I'm going for once I'm in tier 7. As for my tank familiars that I'm planning to get in the future, starting with the legendary tank, there's only one, because I already farmed for Bobodom. The other tank familiar that I'm getting is Jello from the Jelly Invasion. I want a deflect tank just for the sake of progression and kind of like a collector's item, though I'll only use him for PvE. As for the mythic tanks, there are several, and surprisingly, while still in tier 4, I can make 2 tank familiars, and that is Turkon from the Turk Invasion and Zarlok from the Inferno Expedition. Uh, Again, both can be made while I'm still in tier 4, and with their builds exactly at 30% damage reduction. Actually, no, Zarlok has 35% damage reduction, but with their damage reduction bonus, I can make them get to 75% damage reduction, which is the max, much like the evade chance. The reason why I'm getting these two is not because of the meta. I just simply want them because I think they are really cool to own. Plus, they have some use in PvP and PvE. Lastly, one of my most sought after mythic familiars is, of course, Tarbis from the Festiviflux invasion, which only appears once. I was lucky to farm the Festiviflux invasion a few months back, so I managed to get like 1500 invasion materials, which is this one, the Synchronite. And unfortunately, I'm planning to make 9 copies of him, so it's like 2,250 synchronites, so I needed like 700 to 800 more. That's why I'm still waiting for this invasion to come back. And the reason that I want him so badly is because his bonus on the bottom acts like a mini pet that has a 15% chance to proc the attack, sorry, closest enemy whenever he evades. Plus, he gets a shield that equals to 100% of his attack power. Now, that 15% looks slow, or rather, like looks underwhelming, and I agree. However, if you get his evade chance to 75% chance, which is the max, and praying to the RNG that that 15% procs a lot more. So yeah, he has a mini pet based on the text description, and I plan on giving him a defensive brain so he won't die easily. As for the skills, I like the skills. Both 0 SP skills have some sustain, has a damage furthest to the furthest enemy, so the very back of the enemy team. Has a shield self, but it's 2 SP, which is okay. For the 3 SP, damage weakest and strongest, so okay, it can hit 2 people. As for, I think this is for yeah, it's for SP. Drain closest and damage self, which is, I think it's okay. Damage, a skill that deals damage to the enemy while also damage itself usually has a much higher number than skills that have no damage self or recoil, as what other people calls it. As for the build, much like Rombolio, where I plan to give him 75% evade, the same goes for Tarbis, except I'll be wearing the defensive brain whenever he gets hit, like I mentioned earlier, so he won't die easily in PvP and PvE. In PvP, I'm hoping he survives. He probably will, but that I'll have to. It's I'm getting impatient from waiting for the invasion to come back, which is why I want him so badly. Because I'm pretty sure this invasion happens or comes back once a year, and I can't remember when was the last invasion. It was probably like March or April. I forgot. But either way, I'm still saving my plaque of badges. After that invasion ended, I've been saving a lot of it. I'm not sure how many. Let me check here. I've saved 15 of these and 3. Okay, not much, but the 15 plaque of badges I'm getting is from the previous Sardonyx events. As for the honor that I'm spending on, it's between energy and the seals, because the reason why I'm saving a lot of energy is because when I reach tier 6, or rather tier 7, I'm planning to get a lot of rare familiars for my Drazik and Torlag. So that's why I'm buying seals or energy, but I might buy badges in the future when I feel like the amount is enough. But besides that, that's pretty much for Tarvis. He'll be really useful. I think he'll perform well, especially in the early game. He'll definitely decimate the opponents in PvP. I think he also would perform okay in late game. I'm not sure. I haven't owned Tarbis on my main account, sadly. And that's pretty much it for my tanks, and pretty much for my familiar collection. Um, Again, not much to show, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just spamming what dungeon I'm farming, and I'm getting a few epic familiars here. So yeah, this is my collection for the epics. This is my collection for the legendaries. Gabi to Astaroth, I got all of them from Persuades. I did not bribe them. So I got pretty lucky, but I'm not sure if I'll ever fuse these three into something else, but we'll see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and got some sort of idea for your goals on your camping journey. And yeah, happy camping, and I'll see you on to the next one.